So I want to talk to you guys about my vision for this YouTube channel, the reason why I make these videos. Okay, I feel like I'm much closer than I usually am, but I need to be close because it's very cloudy today and there's not much light coming in from this window. Anyway, what's up you guys? I already drank my coffee, so I watched another YouTuber drinking coffee in the beginning of the video, and he was like, it's good to do this because it filters out the people with a short attention span. If you have good mental health, you can sit through a content creator sipping their coffee. You're not gonna immediately click off because your dopamine isn't being stimulated. And that actually transitions perfectly to the topic of today's video. Gods among men, or building a new type of man. I don't know what the title is going to be, something along those lines. This came about as an idea I was having, of course, through my conversation with my AI assistant, ChatGPT. We were discussing how modern men are so weak and they are becoming weaker and weaker. And this is due to the modern lifestyle of comfort and ease, which dampens masculinity. It's really destroying masculinity. So comfort and ease are killing masculinity. Any kind of instant gratification activities that modern men are addicted to, all of these things blunt masculinity and keep men soft and weak and docile, like domesticated animals. Men in the past were like wolves, and now men are becoming more and more like dogs, domesticated dogs. We're losing our wild nature. We're losing our dominance and aggression and competitive nature. Men have lost their purpose. They're weak physically, mentally, spiritually. They're not studying the great men of history. They're not studying philosophy. They're not learning and progressing in life on a daily basis. They're content with these cheap dopamine hits, these easy comforts and pleasures of a modern life. We don't have to go hunting for our food. We can just order Uber Eats. It's called Wolt where I live. Same thing. But you know, I order my groceries sometimes on the food delivery apps, but I still cook my own food. It's just so much better to cook your own food. You just order the ingredients and make it yourself. Because then you know there's no seed oils. You can choose healthy ingredients that support a healthy lifestyle of healthy testosterone. Every time you choose convenience and ease, you're sacrificing health and masculinity. Think of it that way. When you choose to sit your fat ass on the couch and watch a movie, instead of going to kickboxing class and punching and kicking other men who are also punching and kicking you, they don't have to be kicking you. You could just be rolling around trying to choke each other, jiu-jitsu, BJJ. I've never done that. Like in a fight, it makes sense for me to use kicks because of my strong, long legs. But anyway, every time you choose the easy path, the comfortable path of pleasure and comfort and ease and luxury, these things weaken you. And over time, men have been choosing the easy path more and more because it's a path they can choose. In the past, you had no option. You had to live a hard, tough life, a manly life, you didn't have a choice. But nowadays, with modern conveniences and comforts, you have a choice. You can choose to opt out of the hard, rugged, manly lifestyle. And you can opt for the feminine life of comfort and ease. And a lot of men are choosing that. Modern men are choosing a feminine lifestyle of ease instead of pushing themselves and developing themselves as a man. And Nietzsche talked about this. He discussed this. He called it the last man. The last man is like the opposite of the Übermensch. The Übermensch was like above humanity. He is greater in all aspects. He creates his own values. He's psychologically, spiritually, physically superior to all other humans. And he's what we should strive to become. And then the opposite of the Übermensch is the last man, which is the man, the modern man, the man I just described, who chooses ease and comfort over striving for greatness. Nietzsche talked about all of this, the Übermensch and the last man, in his famous book, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, his magnum opus. Very difficult read, just full of symbolism and allegories. It's just so hard to read it. I've never read the whole thing all the way through. I always stopped and started reading one of his other books, which are easier to read. His aphoristic books, like Beyond Good and Evil, The Gay Science, is the one I'm on now. But Thus Spoke Zarathustra, it has a story. It's like a mythology. It's kind of like the Bible. I have it right here. Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Friedrich Nietzsche. Oh, I also have this. I forgot to put this on. And Zarathustra, he's like the Zarathustrianism. It's like the first religion. And Zarathustra, he spends a decade in solitude in the mountains with his serpent and his eagle. I think it's an eagle or a hawk or something. Anyway, very difficult read. I would suggest, if you want to read about Nietzsche's philosophy, do not start with Thus Spoke Zarathustra. It'll put you off completely. I remember my friend recommended this book to me many years ago, and I was just like completely put off by it. You should start with a more approachable read like Daybreak. Daybreak is it's one of his earliest books. And I've never read it, but I hear it's a very good introduction to Nietzsche. Twilight of the Idols, I do have that as well. I've read that. That's also more digestible. I had to get up to check the camera if it was still on. It likes to turn off randomly sometimes. And I do not want to spend another half hour talking with a camera that's not turned on. So I want to talk to you guys about my vision for this YouTube channel, the reason why I make these videos. It's not for fun. It's certainly not for money. I've been making these videos for over a year, not consistently, which is the problem. This is why I quit weed. Day 18, no weed, by the way. I didn't think that day 18 I would have such severe, day 17 yesterday was way worse, such severe withdrawal symptoms. After 2 weeks, on day 14, I felt amazing. And I thought the withdrawals were behind me. No, turns out 2 to 3 weeks after quitting weed, your body can have a second wave of withdrawal symptoms. And it's just like irritability. And the main one is fatigue. If I eat anything, like I can have the smallest amount of food, especially if it's carbs or sugar, and I just feel so tired and fatigued and sluggish. Like I just want to take a nap. I have things to do and I can't bring myself to do anything because I have to nap. I feel so tired. And what's that word? I feel lethargic. I feel so lethargic if I have anything to eat. I drink my coffee with a little bit of honey and milk, and I felt the most intense lethargy. I could barely bring myself to set up this camera and make this video. But I'm doing a perfect day today, and part of a perfect day, one of my habits that I try to do is recording a video. So here I am recording this video, and I want to tell you about the vision for this channel. A new breed of men. Gods among men. I think Gods among men is a great title for this video, because that's what the Übermensch is. It's like a god compared to the last man, compared to the weak modern man. And like the chasm, when you're on self-improvement, most men are not improving themselves. They're indulging in instant gratification. They're not struggling. They're not disciplined. They're not improving their discipline over time and increasing their strength and power over time. So the gap is widening. The longer you're on this journey of self-development, the wider the gap becomes between you and the average man. Advanced artificial intelligence and a brain-machine interface will accelerate this to the point where we will become like gods compared to the average man. So that's the vision I have for this channel, is building a community of men who will undertake this journey of self-overcoming with me. I'm also doing it. We're gonna rise up together. We're gonna rise above humanity, eventually becoming gods. And we're gonna create our own values. This is what Nietzsche discussed a lot in his works, is instead of doing what the herd does, the common folk, what they do is they just accept whatever values and morality and traditions are passed on to them and imposed upon them. They just accept that passively. We are going to be actively creating our own values and our own morality, making our own traditions, and not just accepting what was given to us by others. We are going to be individuals. We are going to be unique. We are going to be crafted from a single stone, like the pre-Platonic philosophers, like Heraclitus. Heraclitus was singular. There was no other man like him. And I want you all who follow me, who follow this channel, I want you all to craft yourself into a singular, unique individual of a man where you're incomparable. There's no one else like you. And that means rejecting the values that society pushes on you. That means rejecting conforming to societal rules and customs. And that means solitude, away from the herd, away from society. That's one of our values, solitude. Relentless pursuit of self-mastery. These are the values we hold. And this is the community I want to build. And we will eventually become gods among men. So let me lay out the path forward. This is what it looks like looking forward into the future. We will reject conformity. We will reject societal norms. And what are societal norms? Societal norms are comfort and ease. An easy life, a comfortable life. We will reject pleasure, hedonism. There will be no hedonism. There will be Dionysian, I don't know how I want to say this word, Dionysian or Dionysian. Let's say Dionysian. Dionysian, because this girl I'm dating, she says Dionysus. I'm like, I want to name our son Dionysus. When I meet a woman and we're like intimate, I immediately get to the point, like, let's make some babies. Here are the names for the sons you will bear me. Half jokingly, but kind of like, I'm down, whatever. I do want to spread my seed far and wide, so. But yeah, one of my sons, probably the first one, should be called Dionysus. And she says Dionysus. So let's say Dionysian. We are not hedonist. We are not hedonistic. We are Dionysian. So there is a place for Dionysian revelry. So think of like, it was called the Bacchanalia back in the Roman times. They would just have like these yearly festivals, this planned or like ritualistic festival, and they would have like orgies, and they would get drunk and take mushrooms and just let out their animal nature. They would let their instincts take over, and they would throw all logical, rational thinking out the window. There's a place for that, but you don't live your whole life like that. That's what hedonism is. Hedonism is living your whole life in the pursuit of pleasure. We're doing the opposite. We're pursuing pain and discomfort and growth. We're pursuing excellence and self-mastery. So that is my vision. That is the path forward. Rejecting comfort and ease and embracing struggle and suffering to overcome ourselves and our self-imposed limitations. We embrace pain, we embrace discipline, because these things are necessary for self-overcoming. Self-overcoming is the main theme of Nietzsche's philosophy. It's basically it means rising above. It means becoming who you are, rising above society, rising above humanity eventually in the form of the Übermensch. That's what the Übermensch is. It's like a different species. And after decades of this self-development journey, we will look like a different species compared to the common man. Like I said, gods among men. That is the path forward. That is where we are headed. So this isn't for everyone. Just like Nietzsche. Nietzsche wasn't writing his books and his philosophy for everyone, for the masses. He was writing for a very select group of people that he called free spirits. This is aside from the point, but his most famous saying is, God is dead. A lot of people point out, oh, in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, it's not about celebrating the death of God. It's like a concerned thing, like, oh, God is dead. The values and morals that we have had for thousands of years are gone. God has become unbelievable. That's what it means for him to be dead. Like, people can't believe in these things anymore because of science. So what are we going to do now? We need to replace these morals and values with something else. For the common folk, for normal people, for religious people who base their entire meaning of their existence in the faith in God and religion, this is a very bad thing. It's not a celebration. It's worrisome. But actually, in a way, God is dead. When he says that, it is a celebration in a sense, but it's a celebration for the free spirits. The common people, it's not celebratory. It's concerning, it's worrisome, because what are they going to do? But for the free spirits, this is an opportunity to create our own values, our own morality, and create a life that is far greater than anything we could have had under the oppression of these ancient religions and traditions and morals. I'm not making these videos for the common people. I'm making it for future gods among men. I'm making it for the rare type of higher man. This is not for the weak. This is not for the common. This is for the rare individual, the free spirit, as Nietzsche would say, who is not bound by ancient traditions and life and values and moralities. We are going to shape ourselves into a new type of species, a new type of man that is above and superior to the average man. So if that's you, please subscribe, leave a comment. Let's create this community of superior men who will eventually ascend above humanity. And that does mean sacrifice. This requires a lot of sacrifice. You have to sacrifice everything. You have to sacrifice love, comfort, pleasure, ease. You have to embrace pain, embrace suffering, embrace struggle. It's not easy. It's not, the path to becoming a god among men is not gonna be easy, of course. But if you think you are that rare, special man, that free spirit, if you think you have what it takes, then let's do this. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.